do some of this work so you can see me work through it and get an idea of maybe you needed another example. So if you notice what I have here, I've got the homework from 2.8. All right, so this was Tuesday's homework. So just to help you out, let's look. What is the center given these vertices? Now, you should notice that the 5 is the same for both. So this is what's going to create the other part of what's changing here in the y. If you want the middle of these 2 points, the midpoint of this, what you want to do is to find the center, you want to average for midpoint. So the 5, the average of 2 5s is just 5. That's not a change. The average of these two, it's 7 plus -9, which is -2, divided by 2, -1. That came from adding these together and average them to find the midpoint. Now, from that, we can also find the A value. The A value, if you think about this, the A is you have to have the distance between 5, 7, out 5, up 7, out 5, down -9. So the A value, this whole length between the two vertices is 2A. So if you get that length between 7 and -9, that would be 16. So halfway would be 8 at each point. So your A is 8. All right? So if A is 8, let's look what I know. Now, I kind of graphed this so you can see that this line is going in a vertical direction between the two vertices. Vertical is Y, so it starts with Y. The other way that I knew it started with Y is that we had a change in Y, not in X. So Y goes first, minus X squared equals 1. Now, this is the setup. That's not enough. We need more information. So I'm going to go back and I'm going to say, okay, I got the center, so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put in the 5. Be careful. 5 does not go with Y. It goes with the X. So this is -5 plus 1. First thing I have to do. Next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to square this and get 64. The last thing I need is this piece right here, and this is the hardest piece to find. Well, I know a C, the distance from the center to the focus, is the C distance. So that's 4 times the root of 5. And you have to remember C squared equals A squared plus B squared. I'm on hyperbolas, so the foci is plus. All right, so C squared means 4 times the root of 5 squared equals 8 squared, 64, plus B squared. Now, I'm going to pull my calculator in, and I'm going to show you what you need to type. When you're putting this in, you need to type, I'm getting that in as much as I can, you need to type the square root, 4 times the square root. So I need parentheses, 4 second root. Now, if you get a parenthesis in here, go back and make sure you're on mode math type. And if you are, it will, if you're not there, it will take the parentheses away once you get there. Go to math type. Okay, 5. And then get out from under that, close the parentheses, and square it. Okay, you can hit second, caret to the second power, or you could just hit squared. Either one will get you there. When you hit enter, it will give you the right answer, 80. Okay, and then subtract the 64 to both sides. That's 16 equals B squared. That tells me this answer. And you don't have to make it 4 squared. That would be silly because this is the type of answer that you're looking for. We're done. All right, so with that done, all I'm going to do to help you with this one is let's find the center A, B, and C. That's a lot of work. Let's see if we can find it. So notice this is what's staying the same. This is what's changing. let's keep what's staying the same. And then what's changing is we want to average it. 12 plus negative 10 is 2. 2 divided by 2 is 1. It's a positive 1. The A is the distance. The distance between these two. For the Y, the distance between them is 22. So A is 11. So I've got A is 11. C is what's given to us, square root 185. B is found by C squared equals A squared plus B squared. 185 equals 121 plus B squared. 64 is B squared. So I know the B is equal to 8. I didn't fill this one in. You don't need it. And you're going, fill what one in? I didn't fill in this B right here, but that's okay. It doesn't matter. All right. Now you can write your equation. Hint, do you know what the equation starts with? We know it's something squared plus something squared equals 1. These are over something. We don't know all those somethings, but technically we do. You know the A and the B squared. You have to square them, guys. All right. And then, you know one thing that I'm going to do real quick? Here's your two equations. You have x minus h squared over a squared minus y minus k squared over b squared equals 1. And then the other equation is y minus k squared over a squared minus x minus h squared over b squared equals 1. So there's your two equations. So if you need those, you're welcome to use them. So you know what goes first here because of what changed. Our y changed. Okay? So if the y changed, that tells me that y goes first. And I'm going to leave that for you to do. I got it set up. It's ready to go. Let's look at one a little different. Number 3. I know the center of this because one thing that didn't change is the negative 4. I'm going to repeat what did not change. What did change was the 18 and the 2. Now, if I average them, I add them together, divide by 2. That's 20 divided by 2 is 10. I have the center. Do I know which one comes first? Well, the one that changed was the x's. So this is going to be x minus something squared minus y minus something squared equals 1 over who knows what. Well, that's what we've got to figure out. The a is still found by taking the distance. The distance between these two, 2a, the distance from the x's is equal to, let's go through here. You can't see it too well. The distance between the two a's is going to be 18 and 2, 16. So you cut that in half. A is 8. So I already know this is 8 squared or 64. I should replace it with 64. That's what should be there. Okay, the C, you know, it's giving you the foci. Look at the center at being 10, negative 4. Minus 10 plus 4. I can fill in the center. This piece is the one. Let's see if my green pen will work. This is the one that I'm going to have to do c squared equals a squared plus b squared. And look what changed. See how the 10 and the negative 4, 10 and negative 4, 10 and negative 4, they have something added and subtracted to the x value. Well, that's because the transverse axis is going in the x direction. So this is your C value, square root of 113. Well, if I fill it in, I get 113 equals 64 plus b squared. 113, turn this on, 113 minus 64 enter 49. So there's my 49. This is no longer here. That is 64. I'm done. Okay? So looking at number 4. Number 4 is special in its own right. Notice how we have the negative 2's that are the same. I know it's starting with a y. Okay? I'm sure of that. So the next thing I'm going to do is, as usual, average these. That's negative 20 divided by 2 is negative 10. I averaged that and I got my center. Now, to find the distance for A, 2A equals, well, how much does this change by? Well, if it's negative 22 on one side and it's 2 on the positive side, so I'm looking at negative and positive, it's 24. So A must be 12. I have to cut that in half. This is the problem, okay? What can I fill in from what I just gained? I can fill in a negative 2 for the x. That becomes a plus 2 because it changes signs. This is going to be plus 10. It changed signs. My A is 12, so this is 144. This is the piece that's my problem child. Let's look at my problem child here. We went from negative 2 to negative 2. Shock and all, that negative 2 is the same on all of these. That's not the problem. The problem's here. How far is it between? In other words, what is my 2c? Okay, what is my 2c? So you take the distance. I have 5 on one side, 25 on the other. They're positive and a negative side. So I'm going to have 30. That's 30. So C, cut that in half. C is 15. That was work that you didn't have to do before. Now, you're still going to find C squared equals A squared plus B squared. So 15 squared 225 equals A squared 144 plus B squared. And it's late. I don't trust my brain, so I am going to stick in the 225 minus 144 and get 81. 81 equals B squared, 81. Okay? That's what to do with those. Number 5, let's see if we can get this real quick. That's the same. Negative 8 is that value. Average these two. Negative 8 divided by 2, negative 4. Got the center. I'm not going to do all of this, but I am going to show you what you have. These are the endpoints of the conjugate axis. In other words, the covertices. So if this is the covertices, notice the negative 4 is matching. And this is giving me the length of B. Now you can find the length of 2A. Therefore, A equals, okay, you can find that. But then in the B's, this is telling you the B's, guys. This isn't bad, all right? How far, you're going to look at the distance. Now I can tell you the middle of this better be negative 8. So I'm not needing that. I need the 2B part, which is saying how far is it between negative 5 and negative 11. Well, they're both negative, so it's the distance from 5 to 11. We're just straight up subtracting. That's 6 units apart. Okay, so B is equal to 3. So here, the distance between these two, wow, that's also 6. So A is 3 and B is 3. Boy, that's going to make it really nice. Okay, I'm going to let you fill those in. You have everything you need. We didn't need to find C on this one. So you should be able to do number 6. I'm going to leave you at that one. Let's see if there's anything on the back that looks a little atrocious. Ooh, number 7. Wow, we've been going for 15 minutes. Let's go ahead and get number 7 in, and then I'll stop. Maybe I'll do one of those on number 8. Okay, so doing number 7. I'm sorry, I've got one in the background. So doing number 7, the vertices, let's draw this out. The vertices are -2, 9, -2, -5, somewhere in this ballpark. This is a vertex, and the asymptotes are telling me something. If you remember, the asymptotes are telling you, first of all, what is the slope? Okay, so what I'm going to do, and I need to know my A, and the asymptote is telling me, this was at 9, I've got 7x, it's crossing somewhere up here at 16. It's crossing at 16, and the one in the negative direction, oh dang, it's going through the center. I kind of have to have the center. Let's try that again. All right, we're going to get this, gang. All right, this is definitely bonus material. If anybody's sweating bullets right now, this is a bonus. All right, so I know center is at -2 because it matches. And averaging the midpoint of 9 and -5, that's a difference of 4 divided by 2 is 2. So I know that my center is 2, -2, and it's stretching from 2 all the way up to 16. Okay, one's going this way on an asymptote. The other is going down to -12. Wow, this was at -5, so -12 is somewhere down here. So what I need to do is be able to figure out the slope. All right, if I want to figure out the slope, because the slope is important, slope is equal to delta y over delta x, and you're like, no, I've never seen that before. Sure you have. It's called y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. This is shorthand for this, okay? So if you fill in what you know the center is part of each of them. -2, 2, and then one slope going up, I know that 0, 16 is another. I actually know the slope. I'm not having to find the slope. But it would tell me what the corner of where this is crossing. Ooh. Let me work on this one. I'm not thinking of something right away. If I'm at, I know the slope is 7. So if I go up 7 over 1, up 7 over 1, I'm hitting it. Wow. Does this only go out 1? So which one's changing? Y is changing. Y is first. It's going to open up in this direction because your vertex is going that way. Okay, so this is y minus 2 squared. Ooh, be careful with this. X plus 2 squared. The reason I said that, ooh, it's because, sorry about that. It's because we have -2 on the y and +2 on the x. I mean, I just said it backwards. We have -2 on the x, +2 on the y, which means they change signs when they go in. The y's over here, so just be careful about that. All right, now I can still find a in the same way. I know that 2a, I have 5 on one side, 9 on the other. That makes a total of 14. Imagine that. A is equal to 7. That is our slope. So this is exactly what I was thinking. I was like, surely it can't be that easy. I was questioning myself because it was easier than I expected. 7 squared is 49 because I found out A. And look at this. Interestingly enough, this only had to go over 1. It didn't go over 2 on this up 7 over 1, up 7 over 1. That's the slope. I believe this number here is just a 1. But we're going to double check to make sure. The chance is that it's either 1 or a 2, because, well, this is 7. It has to be a 1. If you take this down, this means A is 7 and B is 1. This is my delta Y. This is my delta X, the change in Y and the change in X. And it happens to be plus or minus 7 over 1. So I'm done. The end. Okay? So you can double check it and make sure you get this. I actually really need to find the... Yeah, these are okay. I need to go back. You know what? If you get what I've just done, you can turn the video off right now. It's 20 minutes into this video, which is going to take a long time to process anyway. But real quick, I do want to show you, if you're right here, how do you find those asymptotes? And the way that you do it is you take that this is the delta X, that's your delta Y. So your slope is going to equal 7 over 1, and it's plus or minus that. If this creates a fraction like 8 over 4, then you would reduce it to 2 over 1 or just 2. All right? And then I like you to use y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. I'm doing this for the benefit of those of you that have been trying to figure out how to find the asymptote. And I may need to do this on a separate page anyway. So when you fill it in, I'm going to use the center of negative 2, 2. And that's going to be part of both equations, the negative 2, 2. And then one equation is going to have a 7 in it, one's going to have a negative 7. So this is going to be y minus 2 equals 7 times x minus a negative 2 becomes plus 2. The other equation is y minus 2 equals negative 7 times x plus 2. Look how I have these two equations. They look exactly alike with one exception, and that's the slope. Now, to finish these out, you're like, but I don't like doing it this way. But look how nice this is. Distribute the 7. 7x plus 14. Add 2 to both sides because you want to get the y by itself. Oh my gosh, and that's exactly what we had up here. Just saying. All right, if I take this side, y minus 2 equals negative 7x minus 14. Add 2 to both sides. Y equals negative 7x minus 12. Holy cow, it's the other one that I had. I just checked my work. We're good. Have a good one.